or the start of my digital transformation.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks about saying, well, I have this one use case, can I make that use case work? I have this other use case, all right, what's the technology to make that use case work? And that's a huge challenge for us, but I think somehow up-leveling the conversation and say, well, you have this one use case and you have an RFP or whatever it is for that use case, but what you actually are getting is like these 8 or 18 or 100 different use cases that are being thrown at you, and you don't want to spend 6 to 18 months just to enable that use case and do a big data integration effort to do that. You probably should do that effort once, and then now you can go off and spin on like 100 different applications that you need, and let everyone kind of be much more self-serve about this. And it's a complete shift in mindset, which is a hard thing to sell, but we enable that to give the IT person more power.
Yeah, and so the devil's advocate, like the counterpoint to this, right, is people saying, okay, well, why aren't I in a position to do that today? I have all these source systems, right? So if I'm someone like BP, I've got Pi East and Pi West, where I've got essentially all the tags that I think are, in the first, 90% of importance, being aggregated up to 2 systems. Those are on my business network. And I've got SAP's on my business network. So any authenticated user can conceivably go get data out of these systems running across the business network. The problem is, you actually don't just have 3 systems, right? You've got 100 systems, right? And that's something I think people kind of like fail to appreciate, is that these next tier use cases that are a little fuzzier, you're going to be sprinkling into more systems, and you're either going to capture the data network effects by building a data lake, building a well constructed data model on top of the data lake, or you're not, and you're going to still end up spider webbing, crisscrossing. This application needs data from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, what do you mean by going from 3 data sources to 100 data sources?
Well, so if you you add a new use case, right, and suddenly it needs to like process, or it needs to look at PNIDs, right? It's like, oh, like PNIDs wasn't in those 3 data sources I initially considered. Yeah. Right? And then it's like, oh, suddenly actually like this platform has IP21, it doesn't have Pi, so those tags aren't being aggregated into Pi, right? So even if you built a use case like for BP, where they have this anomaly detection, and then they start rolling it out, and they realize whatever this platform is doesn't have Pi, it has IP21. It's a different data source, we have to manage a different connection strategy, and so there's a lot more to build to achieve scale for the large customer. Yeah.
So what are we called then? Because people are going to have a short list of 5 vendors, let's say. We're on that list. Are we a data preparation tool? Are we a data modeling tool? What do we call ourselves? Because they're going to conveniently try and bucketize us, right, into a way of just thinking about us.
I think that's been the eternal challenge.
I mean, we can say Asset Hub, but that's I don't think there's a real kind of bucket that exists for that.
We kind of talked about this. We said it before Tim came in and whatnot, but I see it as like a digital twin management system. Okay. So I'm not a fan of the phrase digital twin, but if you think about us creating a data representation of the physical environment, where that data is associated to a entity that has an equivalent physical object, and we basically help create that. So we help you bring all your various data sources about that, all your information, not just data, but information. So it could be schematic drawings, data sheets, actual maintenance data, and time series data. We associate that whatever is going on about that physical object, we create a data representation of that, or informational representation of that. And that could be one piece of equipment, that could be a piece of instrumentation, that could be a whole process, it could be a whole asset. We pull all that together, and because you now have that data, you can also associate your 3D model. You can also associate a simulation. So we actually end up becoming this place where when you want to find information about any part of your operations, you can actually go to our platform, find that, and so we help you build it, we help you manage it, we help you maintain that and operate that, so that way you can share that with whatever analyses that you need to do, or export that to whatever analysis that you want to do.
Well, I think it's, so one, we're not a data preparation tool, right?
Okay.
So we may want to be a data preparation tool, but we're not a data preparation tool today, because we don't, so to date, we've got like the barest toe in the pond of data preparation, and that comes when we start talking about interpolation, right? So that'll be the first feature we have that's actually data preparation, where someone wants a data set and it needs to actually change the information content of what's there. And as we add more features on cleaning data and things like that, will be more data preparation. But we're still kind of on this base leveling thing, right? And a lot of data preparation is more about empowering one individual end user to like work through the challenges of their one data set. And we don't really do that today.
Yeah, just to illustrate that, so we give the data in its raw format about a piece of equipment or about a whole asset. See it?
See it.
So we give it in its raw format. We don't transform that data in any way. We don't shape it in any way. And we do some shaping, but like it's not in like a tabular format.
We organize the data, but we don't manipulate the data in the way that you need to for some applications for data preparation, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense,
competing with Trifacta. In fact, we can produce data that Trifacta or Tamara or Talent or Informatica can then take and then be a data prep tool for that.
Yeah, we may one day compete more with them because we have this kind of industrial time series core, and there's certain things that like make sense that are like foundational. But I think right now we're trying to limit the total amount of of data transformation logic people put in Element that's not about defining the context for the data, right? So we allow people to define the context for the data by leveraging the metadata and data that already exists, right?
Okay.
And we can say data modeling tool, right? But data modeling, while very important, kind of starts to sit in this realm of like database administration and some other things. So I don't like calling us a data modeling tool, even though there's a lot of data modeling, right? Because we're focused on the industrial context and the operational context, and we're also focused on the physical as much as we are upon the actual data model itself.
So saying data model, I understand that's not
And it also
a good
limits
way
you
of.
from saying like all the raw data. Like data model is just the context. It's not including the raw data piece.
Yeah. So an outcome of using Element is all about building an asset model. That's probably more.
That's one piece of it.
Right.
We're also connecting up all the raw historical data to that asset model.
Yeah. So how do you build an asset model? You build an asset, so if you get into that conversation with someone, try and kind of shift the goalposts away from data prep and all these kind of other tool sets, and we're kind of moving them strategically to think about asset models now.
So how do you build an asset model?
Do you build it bottoms up? Do you build it top down, or is it just a case of just fricking start? And here's a good place to start, given I understand what you're trying to achieve.
You're
and
saying
it's a
like
small
best practice?
Yeah. So do you build them
I don't know how to.
top down, bottom up?
So this is one of the like the surprising weaknesses we have,
Okay.
which is the situation's not the same for every customer, right? The situation is more the same than they think, but we tend to not actually be like helping people define strategy at like the CIO level, where you can really take that strategic of an approach on doing this. So we haven't done that a lot, right? So we can look at like what BP's doing, where they have like more like core initiatives that result in using the Element software and producing different data models and things out of it. But we haven't done enough to really have enough commentary on that.
Yeah, I think Andy used this phrase that we are a data out